So, hello everybody. I am Nicholas from Nikkolaihof. We are talking today about the 2019 vintage. It's actually quite new for me to do daily tastings. Yeah, I have already the first wine. Of course, I cannot talk about wine when I'm not drinking them. We're talking about at first about the Zwickel Veltliner. It's the cloudy Hefeabzug, basically. 19 was a very good vintage for us. So the spring was quite early. So the apricot flowering was already on the 20th March. So that's really very early. But luckily we had later on a little cold period with also some rain. And so everything slowed down a little bit. And so then flowering period was perfect. Summer was good. Harvest started in the middle of September. On the 17th we started, and it went on until the 10th or 11th of October. So that was quite normal. So now we are really happy with the vintage. Acidity is good. Alcohol level is not too high. That was a little not weird, but not as strange that the Grüne Veltliner, the alcohol, the sugar level in the grapes, rised up very, very fast, and Riesling stayed very, very stable. So we harvested all the Grüne Veltliner first, or most of the Grüne Veltliner first, and later on then we did the Riesling harvest. Almost everything has fermented. Steiner Hund is fermenting a little bit now. Also still it's going on during the summertime, but that's also quite normal for us. And yeah, but doesn't matter because Steiner Hund is now 2015 on the market, so there is still enough time for the fermentation time, or for the wine, it's enough time.
So the 2019 vintage, if you were comparing it in any of the different characteristics that you're talking about, acidity, ripeness, etc., are there other vintages that you would compare this vintage to?
I think it's quite similar with 16, for example. Also, I think it's one of the really good vintages in the last year. So like 13, but not so high in alcohol. Yeah.
But the character of the vintage is more of a warm character, or is it more of a cool character and classic to you?
I think it's getting more to the warm character, but not as a super hot vintage. So not a super dry vintage, not like 11 or 18, for example.
And do you find that the vintage favored one particular grape variety, either Grüner Veltliner or Riesling, or is it sort of equal to in both varieties?
I think it's quite equal. It was very different of the harvest time. I think that you had really be careful when you harvested them, because when you were waiting too long for the Grüne Veltliner, the alcohol was really, also the potential alcohol was really going up very fast, and the acidity came down very quick. So that was really the challenge for Grüne Veltliner. But for Riesling, that was fine. So it was really, I think if you found the right moment for harvest, it was really a good vintage for both varieties.
And in terms of selection, did you have a lot of pressure during the harvest in terms of rain or precipitation? Anything like that?
Not really. It was really quite relaxed harvest for me. As a harvest can be relaxed, but.
How many hectares in total now are you farming?
We have about 21 hectares. We are going down a little bit with the hectares, as we have about 22 hectares of land for wine growing, but I have some vineyards, or part of some vineyards I'm constantly replanting. But we had, in the last couple of years, we had so really good harvests, good quantity, good quality. So I am not in the pressure to replant, planting new vines on this land. So I'm leaving the land for a couple of years without wines for recovering. And then I'm planting again. So it's at the moment it's about 21 hectares what we're harvesting from.
And so, how many people do you normally use at harvest for that amount in a normal year?
Yeah, it's about 13. So which is not a lot. So, but I have luckily a very good team. They're working quite fast and quite good. So most of them are really working for me. So I have 5 employees which are working all the time for me in the vineyard during the vegetation season. And they are bringing their friends, the uncle, the aunt, and so on. So they know the system, how it works. And I want to work with the grapes very gently in the cellar afterwards, after the harvest. So that's why I don't want to have too many people outside. So I really get just the grapes in, what I can easily work with the press, with the maceration time, and all these things.
Was there something specific in the cellar that you did in 19 that was different than normal? Did you use shorter maceration times, or
no?
Same program?
Same procedure as every year. Yeah.
Was there a particular vineyard that produced really beautiful fruit in 19?
Steiner Hund. I'm really happy with the Steiner Hund. It's from the beginning during the fermentation. Now it's still fermenting a little bit, but you really can feel already that this was a really good vintage for Steiner Hund, the Riesling.
Excellent. Does anyone else have any other specific questions for Nikki regarding the 21 vintage, or sorry, the 19 vintage, excuse me? We're not there yet. Also, I would love to hear your kind of, I know that the DAC for Wachau has just been put into law on May 5th, and wanted to hear kind of your perspective on this. This seems to be a little bit of a political change in the Wachau.
Yeah, I think the whole DAC system is something what nobody needs. It was good for the Weinviertel to make really PR for Grüne Veltliner and Weinviertel, but then I compare it very often with the idea that about DAC was good, but also the idea about about the communism is good, that everybody is equal, everybody is the same, but it's not working. Definitely not working. And the DAC is every region has its own system. The DAC Rosalia, for example, is allowed to write the Riede, the vineyard name on it, the site name on it, just under 12.5 alcohol, then or over 12.5 alcohol. For red one, it's just 12.0 alcohol. So the whole system is every region. It's now 15 DAC region in Austria, and so there are 15 different systems. And so I cannot explain DAC in general. So it makes no sense for me. And they are saying, for example, that Wachau DAC is not allowed now to use that you taste the oak, a little bit of oak in the wine. And so, but there's some wine growers, they're working with oak for some special wines like Martin Muttenthaler or Erich Machhandel. He's also doing some other wines. So it's now not allowed to produce your own stylistic and say Wachau to it. And I think that's the real weird thing, that they're saying that the wine from this region must taste like this. Not should, it's a must. And so you really lose a lot of potential about different wines. You lose the chance to try something, because when you don't get the DAC checking from the government, the AP number or so, then you're not allowed to say Wachau to it. And so, yeah, you're losing things.
So do you think that this will push some growers out of the DAC? Do you think that we'll see more people labeling wines that were previously labeled as Wachau as, you know, Niederösterreich or something like this?
I think definitely, yeah, that will happen. And I think that's bad, because Wachau is there. There are some really active young producers who are doing a really good job, but the wines are tasting different, which is nothing bad. Have different stylistics, and so definitely they have to write then Niederösterreich on it.
Interesting. Anyone else have any questions for Nikki?